Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all the students and parents for today's session, Money Management for Teens. Before we start the session, we are going to talk a little about, in a fast changing world, how IDX education is helping the school and college going students to have better career life ahead by empowering them through the uniquely designed courses, which will even help them enhance their skills to make them future ready. So for this, I would request Ayush, who is the founder of iDream Career, India's largest career guidance organization, and IDX, which is made out of iDream Career, to share the theory behind IDX education and enlighten the students a little. Ayush, please over to you.
Thanks, Nitin. Welcome, everyone. Some of you might have attended the last uh, class as well, and I did this at the end. But I'll start this in this session. I'll start first and then follow it up with the trial class. I'm Ayush, and I founded IDC way back in 2012. For us, it's been close to about 9 years now running iDream Career. And the entire idea of IDX came from our interaction with millions and millions of students while guiding them towards the right career. We are one of the largest career counseling organization now. We work with close to about 1.5 crore students annually across India and Middle East now. And while we were doing career counseling, we realized a lot of things, while we were telling them what career is right for them, or what are the skills or what are the job roles required in different careers. And we realized a gap that the young students in class 9 to 12th, 8 to 12th, in fact, and undergrad colleges require a lot more than just marks and a degree, right? And post the COVID world, especially the entire market, the jobs, the industry, the companies are really going to change further in terms of the kind of jobs that they will be giving and the kind of people that they will be hiring and what they will be looking at them. So one of the very recent LinkedIn 2019 career survey report in India uh, came out with this two fact, which is 61% millennials who are just in their early years of their job in year one, year two, year three, after just their undergraduation or post graduation, want to change their career. Right? Imagine spending so much of time in their education and now getting into the job that they wanted, but now they want to change their career. And on the other side, 65% professionals agreed and believed very strongly that nowadays having the right skill is the most important factor in finding your dream job. It's just not about finding a job or a career, but your dream job and career which you really aspire to get into, or a right fit job or right fit career. And why probably 61% millennials really wanted to change their career, and we realized this during our interaction with students at class 9 to 12th and undergrad colleges, that they get exposure to different skills which are required in various careers. Now, as per our education system, a BA in psychology or a BA in economics or mechanical engineering, um, and we don't get exposed to these subjects. I mean, psychology is not offered in majority of the schools in the country, right? So at 11th or 12th, we don't get exposed to these subjects. We don't get exposed to 21st century skills which are required in every job, design thinking skills, money management skills, negotiation skills. These are skills which are required in every job now, and which we see that during our career counseling process, we realize that while we're telling students, okay, this is a right career or this is what you should take up, we also realize that how do they get exposed to these skills required in these careers so that they can better take career decisions. How they would take career decision, how they would map their interest with a particular career is by only knowing what I will do in that career or job, right? So, but unfortunately, without knowing that, I'm picking up a specialization right after 12 because our education system do not give a flexibility of studying a lot of things in first year of college and then picking up a specialization, which is a thing in only one area of course which is a liberal arts. But in majority of the others, we don't get that option, right? And if you see that, in terms of the job opportunities, in terms of the big companies, and now are looking beyond degrees. They're not looking at what degree, what college, what university. They're looking at only and only skills. Their eligibility do not mention this GPA or this college degree. Their eligibility mention, do you have this skill which is required in this job? And at an early stage, only computer science, engineering, probably for that career, there are coding courses now, online or traditionally being offered by institutes like NITs or Aptech, wherein I could have exposed ourselves by taking up a C++, or even in class 9, 10, 11, 12, we now have computer as a subject wherein we learn coding courses. But apart from computer engineering, we hardly have any subjects in our school curriculum with which we can get exposed to these job roles and skills. So that was the entire fundamental of IDX, wherein we realize that the skills which are required in job roles can only be offered by industry experts who have relevant skills, who are already working in large corporation, have exceptionally good academic background, can come and launch courses on IDX, and they are the trainers. If you see the trainers, the experts who run these courses on IDX are all coming from exceptionally a good academic and professional background with minimum 5 years of work ex, and they only run these courses. There is no teacher but an industry expert who run these courses. All the courses in IDX are micro learning courses. What it means is that it's the duration of every course is just between 8 to 15 hours, and there are live engaging courses wherein our idea is to expose students to various skills required in future of workplace skills, right? And there is no gyan, right? All the course component, the entire delivery of the course is only and only about how can we really expose them to skills rather than just gyan. So a lot of you may say, what is the difference between IDX and what was being offered in the market earlier? Like Udemy, edX, Coursera, these platforms which were there. How are you different from these platforms, right? And here are the 5 important points why IDX is different from any other such platform which has been existing already. Number one, and the biggest difference is all these platforms were upskilling platform which were focused and targeted toward working professional, right? Who are already in job in the first 5 years of their jobs, and now either they want to add a skill in the particular job roles, or probably they want to change their career and they want to add another skill. Our target and our skill courses are aimed towards young students. It's contextualized for young students in class 9 to 12th and undergrad college. Our idea is to develop skill rather than upskilling, because these students are starting to now gain skills, which is fresh start. So that's one of the biggest difference. The second is a hand-holding approach. We understand that the students are young. We need to really give them hand-holding support, provide them one-on-one guidance when the courses are running, and it's a live course that we are doing. Third is that our focus is on 21st century and future of work skills. They're not only focused on domain-related career, but it also focuses on 21st century skills. Fourth, it's a flipped learning module, wherein we start with assignment-basis learning module, wherein we give assignment, we give work to students, and then start with the learning process. And lastly, our focus is on all the careers that the world has, rather than just computer science. Right. So these are the 5 biggest difference between IDX courses and any other in the market. And why we started this is because we couldn't find some other platform in the market, doing this job. So there are 4 currently. We have started with 4 courses. We already launched one batch of Young Entrepreneur Program, which is running right now. There's a second batch which also we have launched for YEP, a Young Entrepreneur Program, from September 12th. We have launched Design Thinking course, which is starting from August 22. Group discussion, personal interview, again, a very interesting course, which is focused towards class 11th and 12th student. Now, Indian colleges require group discussion and personal interview in their admission process, and we need to prepare our students for it. Right? This course is for them, and also for undergraduate college students who are looking at jobs, internships, interviews, and group discussion process. For them, this is an amazing, amazing course. And finally, money management. Right, over here we focus with class 8 to 12 student, and for which this trial class is being run today. Kanika, who has worked with various companies, including Infosys, TCS, Vodafone in the past, come with her own personal experience on how to really manage finance, right? How to become literate on managing finance as a young student, because while we move from 9, 10th, 11th, 12th to college, we need to manage our finance accordingly, right? As a young student as well. So that's one very important skill we realize that needs to be given to student. That's what this course is about, and that's what the trial class is going to be taken up just after a minute. There are some very interesting other courses which we are launching on the platform: Young Economist program, Ethical Hacker program, Science of Happiness, which will focus around building a happiness curriculum in this course, Young Journalist program, Art of Debating, which is focused on articulation, and thinking process for students, how you really can articulate well and think through various issues that are going around in the world, and Young Stockbroker program, which is how you can really start investing in stock market at an early age. So these are some interesting courses which we are launching very soon on the platform as well. And that's about from my side. Visit idx.education and look up at all the courses. There's a helpline number which is there, which you can see on the website as well, which is 01141182640. Call us in case of any query. You can drop email as well in the email ID which is there in the front of your screen. And today at 6:15 p.m. you will all of you who have come through any of our career counselors, they will get a creative and a code through our career counselor only, which will have 10% discounts. If you register, you'll get these 10% discount. Just to mention, we are only left with 4 seats in the design thinking course and 5 seats in money management course. Our batch size is only of 15 students. It's very small size so that we can build an engagement, and we are seeing that we should be able to close it by tomorrow. So after the trial class, if you have interest for money management, do go and sign up for this ASAP. So over to Kanika now. I'll just do a brief introduction. Kanika is a designer with an entrepreneurial mindset. She has worked as a user experience designer for around 8 years. She's been working with companies like Infosys, Vodafone, and TCS in the past. And her focus is on how social design initiative can empower children with future relevant skills, like problem solving skills, creative thinking, money management, etc., etc. She has also founded a company, Little Art Studio, which was selected by IIM Bangalore under the Women Startup Program. So welcome you, Kanika, and over to you for taking the trial class ahead.
Thanks a lot, Ayush, for the generous introduction, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. And some of you met me in the last session as well, so welcome back again. And let me share my screen so that we can move further. All right. So we are going to talk about money today, right? Have you, just curious to know, have you ever attended any such session where we are talking about money before? Like before this, any of the sessions that you attended before on money? You can just type your responses in the chat window, and I'll be able to see that. All right. No, actually. No. Okay. So why are we talking about money? Why are we talking about money in this session? After all, it's just a piece of paper, right? Or is it more than that? Why are we talking about money today? Why is it important to learn about money? Is it even important, or is it just a piece of paper? No, right? It is much more than a piece of paper. Sorry, go ahead.
No, ma'am, it is important.
It is important. Yes, it is important. That's why we are talking about money today, right? Why is it important? What are the things we get from money? We could not have bought the food
Because it has certain value.
Yes, it has certain value, and we use it to buy a lot of things that we need to live in this world, right? from basic food needs to clothing needs. These are some of the basic needs that money helps us achieve, right? Fulfills our basic needs. We could not have bought food or could not have bought clothes that we wear if we don't have money. The car that you travel in or the bike, motorbike that your dad has would not have been possible without money, right? The holidays that you go on would not have been possible without money, right? The house that you live in. There are so many things, physical things, comforts, convenience, necessities that would not have been possible without money. So that's why we're talking about money today. Is it important enough? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's play a game and see how much you know about money. All right. The rule of the game is that you have to tell me answers to the questions that I ask you, and the one who gives me the fastest answers, I mean the fastest correct answer in the chat window, gets a point. All right. So I'll see in the chat window who answers me the fastest and the correct answer to the questions that I ask. All right. So, can you tell me how much money does it cost to buy a regular McDonald's fries, a regular size McDonald's fries? Okay, around 60. Okay, okay. I have got lots of responses. The first correct one is Raghav Sabu, right? 60 to 70 rupees for a regular one. That's correct. It costs 60 rupees, around 60 rupees. Next question is, how much money does it cost to buy 1 kg of sugar? Oh my god, 500 to 600. No, no, no. 40, 35, 50. Yes, many people gave correct answers. Okay. Pranav, S. Pranav gave me the first correct answer. Okay, moving to the next question. How much money does it cost to buy a Series 5 Apple Watch? Many of you must be asking your parents for this. I'm sure many of you must know this. Okay, the first one I got is again Raghav Sabu, 44K. Yeah, you are almost close. It cost around 43, 44K. That's correct. So you know quite well about the things that you want in your life, or you have been asking your parents to buy it for you, right? So let's see. The next ones are a bit difficult one. Let's see who gets it. Okay. How much money does your family spend on electricity every month? Okay, 4,000. So this actually, this depends. I just wanted to see if any of you know, or are there any parents who are helping them from back with the answers? Okay, great that you know this. There's no right answer for this, but just wanted to see whether how many of you know this. And the next one is very interesting. How much money does your mom and dad earn? Do you know that?
Per month or per year?
Per year. In a year, how much money does your mom and dad earn? Okay, someone has told me that's confidential. Okay. Okay, but okay, don't tell me that, but at least you should know how much they're earning, right? Do you discuss money on your dining table? Do you discuss money with your parents? Do they tell them how much they earn? A question for parents also. No, yes, no, no. Okay, many students are saying no, not while eating. Okay, yeah, no, you should not discuss money while eating. Okay, okay, no, okay. So, if any of the parents are also participating in the session and have joined us, it would be interesting to know your responses as well. So, moving on, how do we earn money? So we know money is very important. We know that what all things money can buy for us. But how do we earn money? How do your parents earn money? By working hard. Yes, they work very, very hard to earn the money. The right one way is investing. Okay, someone is saying one way is investing. Children should know the range of family earning for a reality check. Yes, very correct. Someone is saying okay. So we earn money by working hard. That's correct. Your parents work really, really hard to earn money and buy you all the things that you ask them for, provide you all the comforts and luxuries, right? But what do you do with that money? Once you earn that money, it is your hard earned money, right? How do you manage it? How do you spend it? That is also a very important and very critical question. Actually, this is a question that, decides your future or shapes your future in many ways. What do you do with that money? You have earned the money, it is your hard earned money, you have put your sweat and blood in it. But what after that? You've got the money, now what to do with it? How to spend it? How do you manage it? So let's see a small story of two people and see how they manage their money. Okay. So meet Sento and then meet Penny. So both of them are classmates. They studied in the same college. They earned the same degrees and they passed out almost at the same time. And they landed up in the same job. They got their first job, right? So they started their journey at the same time, at the same level, in the same company, passed out from the same college. Everything is same. Now let's see how their financial journey starts. They've got their first salary, they've started their job, and after a month, they got their first salary, which is about 50,000 rupees per month. So they got their first salary and they're very excited. This is the first time they've earned their own money by working hard for 9 hours in an office, and they're very excited about it, right? Now let's see what they do with their first salary. So talking about Sento, he is very you know careless guy, and he is mostly he's very excited. He's living on his own for the first time, so he's mostly eating out his meals. He is thinking, okay, let me order pizza for dinner. He's almost every day he's eating out, and he sees that okay, latest iPhone is launched, but I don't have enough money in my account, but I can always buy it on my credit card. So once you get a salary account, you open an account in a bank. Many banks are willing to give you the credit card, so he takes one and he says, why not use it? I can buy my iPhone on my credit card and later pay the bills of the credit card, right? So he thinks, okay, I'll buy it on my credit card. And then he's also thinking that now I'm earning, right? So why should I go on public transport? Why should I use metros and buses? I should get a car for myself. After all, I'm earning and they can give me a car loan, so I'll get a car for myself. This is how Sento is thinking after the first month's salary. And let's see how Penny is thinking. So she is a bit conservative in spending, unlike Sento, who is more reckless and careless in spending. So she's thinking, I cannot eat outside food daily. It's bad for health and it's costly too. Let me cook at home. That's how she's thinking. And she also saw the latest iPhone is launched. She also want to buy it, but she decided that if I cannot afford it right now, but if I save 5,000 rupees per month, I can buy it at the end of the year for myself, right? So she decides to control her wishes and saves for it and work for it and sets a goal for herself. And then she's also thinking that she should make a monthly budget for herself so that she knows where she's spending her money, where she can track every penny for herself, right? And then she's also thinking that I must invest a small amount every month, and this will help me in my future. So she is thinking a completely different way. Center is completely in a different direction is thinking, and both are started at the same point. Now let's see how their finances look like after the end of first month. So both of them got the same salary, 50,000 rupees per month. So both of them had almost same basic expenses, since they are living on their own, living in a rented accommodation. They had to pay bill for their rent, electricity, transport, all those things. So it's almost fixed expenses, which is around 15,000 for both of them. Then since Sento is eating out, he's almost eating out every day, so he spent 6,000 rupees on food. Whereas Penny decided to cook on her own. She also ate out sometimes, but mostly she was cooking at home. So she saved some money there, and she spent around 3,500 rupees, 3,500 on her food. Now you have got financially independent, and you want to travel with your friends and go out on weekends. So both of them did that. Sento spent around 10,000 on weekend holidays, while Penny spent on uh, holidays amount of around 7,000 rupees. And now you've got to go office every day. You need new clothes. You've got your first salary. You decide to shop for your family as well. So both of them shopped, but Sento again spent slightly on the higher side. He spent 15,000 rupees for shopping, whereas Penny spent around 12,000. So she is mostly conservative in her thinking, and she's spending in a controlled way. And then both of them went for movies and other leisure activities, which costed them 2,000 rupees. In the end, Penny also decided that she'll invest 5,000 rupees every month. So she kept 5,000 rupees aside, and she saved around 5,500 rupees after that also. Whereas Center was able to save around 2,000 rupees by the end of first month. All right. So let's see how. I'm sorry, I just let me share it again. Okay. Sorry about that. So after first month, this is how their financials looked like. Now let's see how they move further in their financial accounts. So at the end of the year, Sento used his credit card to buy the iPhone. He also wanted to buy a car, so he took a car loan as well. And so all the EMIs are going, which makes his monthly expenses to around 48,000 rupees. He's earning 50,000, and he is monthly spending around 48,000, living a lavish life. And he has been able to save a very small amount of 24,000 rupees at the end of first year of working. Whereas on Penny's side, she is monthly spending around 36,000. She doesn't she also saved for her iPhone, and she bought the iPhone at the end of the year. So now both of them had iPhone. She also is eating sometimes out, but not every day. So she's saving on that. She didn't took any credit cards or any loans, so she doesn't have any liabilities for that. And she has by now invested around 60,000 rupees so far in 1 year, right? So while from outside you may feel that Cento is having a very luxurious life, but if you see, both of them are having fun, both of them are going on holidays, both of them are doing shopping, both of them have iPhone. Except the car, it's almost the same kind of life that they are living. But financially, Cento is more into loans and credit cards, and he is kind of increasing his debt. Now COVID hits the world. Okay, COVID hits the world like another emergency, like we all are facing. And you must be reading that many people are losing their jobs, and people are facing it around the world. People are losing their jobs. So same story happened to both of them. Both of them lost their jobs. Sento and Penny, both of them lost their jobs. Now what will they do, right? So since Penny had already saved some amount of from her salary, she had an emergency fund which could survive her for 6 months without a salary. That means she had enough money to survive and afford her expenses for 6 months, even if she doesn't get a salary. She can use her savings. Now let's see what happens to Sento. He says, "Oh God, I am broke. How am I going to pay my loan and credit card dues without my salary? Bank will take away my car." Yeah, so because from his salary, he was giving monthly EMIs for his credit card, for his car loan. Now suddenly the income that he was getting, that was incoming, right? The incoming salary is zero. The incoming has stopped. What will he do with the outgoing now? He doesn't have anything. He didn't save anything much, right? So he's in a big trouble now. And that is why, like I said initially, that how you manage your money actually determines and shapes your future. You see, both of them started at the same point, at the same level, from the same college, same job, same salary. Everything was same when they started. But after 2 years, this is how they ended up. And this is exactly uh, why we are saying that it's important to be money wise, to learn and manage your money. And this is what we are going to learn in this course. The whole intention behind running this money management course for teenagers is to prepare you before you start earning. You should know all these things before you start making your money, so that you're smart enough to manage it wisely. And let me give you a brief overview of what exactly are we going to learn in this course. So definitely we'll be talking about how you can be smart with your money, how you can be money wise, and we'll be talking on spending habits, how different people have different spending habits, what influences them when they take decisions on spending, right? Sometimes people get influenced by their peers, and if someone is buying this, I also want to buy this. There are a lot of spending habits that we must build correctly. That is what we are going to learn in this course. And we'll also be discussing about needs and wants. So there's a very uh, clear line between the two, right? Needs is something that you cannot live without. You need food to live, you need water to live, you need a house, you need clothes to live. But wants are something that are good to have. I would like to buy a car, or I would like to buy a particular sports equipment, or I would like to buy the latest iPhone or Apple Watch. Those are luxuries that you can treat yourself with if you can afford them. But those are, you cannot it's not necessary for them, for you, right? So those are wants. So understanding the difference between the two is very important to manage your money wisely. Next thing what we are going to learn in this course is how to be ready for the tough times. Like you saw in the last story, right? COVID hit the world, and the boy was in big trouble. So how to be prepared for such situations? Life is very unpredictable. You cannot know what tomorrow, some emergency comes, there's a hospital emergency, there's some other emergency, you might lose your job, or there's an earthquake and you've lost everything. So how you should be prepared, or there's a hospital expense that is coming up in the family. How would you deal with all that? So you have to be prepared well in advance for all these uh, incidences or emergency situations, right? So we are going to learn all this in the course. Other things that we are going to learn are budgeting. So whenever you are, even for the monthly spendings that you are doing, when you will start living on your own, you will be moving out from your house and you will be living on your own. You have to spend your own money, you have to buy things for yourself, for your home. How to make budgets and learn the art of budgeting. You have to allocate certain amount of money to all the things that you need to buy for the month, right? So we'll be learning all about that. Then a very important thing is investing and saving. So you are not you earn 50,000, you spend 40,000, the rest 10,000 you saved. But then if you don't do anything with that 10,000, it will remain 10,000 only, right? There's a way to grow it. We'll be learning about how the power of compounding help us grow money. What are the investment options we can look for initially, especially in the initial phase of your career when you don't have much money to spend on, right? You are able to save very little, but even with that little amount, if you start investing, you will see how it grows well, very well in the future. So we'll be talking all about that. You will be actually doing some practical exercises to learn all this. And we'll also be talking about, yeah, smart shopping. Have you done this thing that you want to buy something and then you check the prices on 2 3 stores before buying it, or maybe you check like online prices and offline prices and then decide, okay, this is much better price on the online store and I should buy it from online store rather than offline physical store, right? We do all this, right? For example, nowadays for even simple things like vegetables, if there are two apps, people generally compare the two app prices and then order the vegetables and the grocery. So we'll be learning all about that as well. Next, what more we are going to learn is, oh yes, understanding salary slips. A very important and very common thing that I've seen in with people is, so when you get your offer letter from the company, it says, okay, we'll be paying you 6 lakhs per annum. In a year, you will be earning 6 lakhs. So what people do is they quickly divide 6 by 12 and see, okay, how much I'm going to earn per month. Okay, 6 lakh divided by 12, 50,000 rupees per month. But when they get their first salary, they realize, no, this is not 50,000, it is much less than that. How come the appointment letter said it is going to pay me 6 lakh rupees? So there are a lot of things that you need to understand when you read the pay slip or the salary slip, right? There are a lot of taxes that you need to pay and plan for that. How can you save on those taxes? What are the things like PF and all those things? We'll talk about that. What are the deductions that the company does from its end, right? From taxes and other deductions. All those things will be decoding the salary slips, actual salary slips, to understand that, so that when you get your first pay slip, you are not surprised and you understand the mathematics behind it, right? Then the banking basics. Not many people are aware how the bank accounts operate, how to operate the bank accounts, how to fill paying slips, digital banking. What are the options for saving, fixed deposits, recurring deposits? What are the different things that you can do through a bank? So we'll be learning about all those things as well. And when we start earning, there are certain things that we want to achieve, right? There are certain goals that we want to achieve. For example, I want to go for a Europe tour, or I want to buy a house after 10 years, or I want to buy this car, or I want to buy the latest phone. So these are some goals that we wish to achieve, right? As we move further in our career, we'll be learning how to plan for these goals and how to start investing for these goals. The earlier we start saving and investing our money, the better it will be for our future. So that's why it's important to learn at this stage for you guys, and understand that what all you can do when you start earning, right? We'll be talking about all those things as well. And one very dangerous and interesting topic is how to be aware when using your credit cards and taking loans. So be aware, like how to take care, why, when to take the loan, why to take the loan, what are the things you need to take care before taking the loan. If you plan to buy a car, which car you can afford, how to check that whether I can even afford to maintain this car or not, or I should buy this car, am I able to afford this car or not. All those things we'll cover in the session, in the sessions coming for this course, and you'll learn about all these things, and we'll be doing some practical activities to make sure that you understand the real mathematics behind this. And yeah, so in the end, I'll leave you with a interesting question. Let's see if you can give me some creative answers, or maybe you can just think of it after the session also. What would you do if you win a lottery of $100 million? So if you, let's see who gives me some creative answers for this. Start my business. Okay, Suvan Mittal says I'll start my business. Anyone else want to answer the question? What would you do if you win a lottery? Invest half of it. Very good. Okay. Buy a business. Oh my God, you're going to, okay. You're going to buy Swan's business. Okay. Buy share from a company that is flourishing. Okay. 10 million for investment. Buy the Burj Khalifa. Very interesting and very creative answer. What are you going to do with the Burj Khalifa, Priksha? Buy real estate. Okay. Nice. Invest a part of it and then buy a business. Buy house. I will start my own company. Okay. Start a business company and provide jobs on a large scale. Very good idea, Karan Shah. Okay, so you can keep on thinking and keep on creating your ideas for this. And if you have any queries for the session, I'll be happy to answer them. So please go ahead with your queries. Duration of the course, it's again a 8 hours course. Each session will be of 1 hour. And it is also starting from 22nd of August.